Hello there, this is Rom Wills, and I'm coming back at you again with part two to my video series now, where educated lames and nerds should go from here. And this will be part two, dealing with women. And just to be clear, the term educated lames and nerds that'll be the last time I use it, just in the title for this series. But the term will from now on be thinking black man, and we'll get more into that in the third part of this series. Um, but dealing with women, let's be real. Let's just keep it 100. If our friends or somebody like that call us a nerd or lame or anything, we're like whatever. Even to some extent family members, because despite everything they still your family, you gonna love them. But the pain comes from when a man is seen as a lame or a nerd by women, because like on a fundamental level it means he don't get any panties. I mean that's basically what it is. She doesn't see him as select. So in my last video I talked about the thinking black man forming a community, forming a subculture, then culture, community, and building from that. But an important factor in building a community of any type is how, as men, we're going to deal with women. And a lesson we can take in this is from the men I refer to as Mr. Goodbar. See, one of the things is not so much that the Mr. Goodbars attract the women, but it's how Mr. Goodbars deal with the women. And it's not so much they dog them or do whatever to them. Hey, some of them even very nice to women. The thing is, they deal with women on their own terms. What the thinking black man has to do is only deal with women on his terms. This is very important, on his terms, not the women's terms. Because think about something. First of all, even though I stress in my books, and I've talked about it, that women choose the men. But the thing men have to really get through their heads is, even though women choose the men, we have to accept the choice. So we don't have to deal with it. Now if a woman don't choose us, hey, that takes everything out. But if she chooses us, we still don't have to deal with any bullshit that she is sending our way. See, the thing is, the thinking black man has to just change his mindset. You can't worry about what the women are going to do. You got to worry about what your own standard is, what you're asking from the woman. Now, in the context of the thinking black man in building a community, it has to be a very simple thing: our way or the highway. Let me say that again: our way or the highway. See, one of the things, now some people familiar with my work, and people would ask me, who know I've been in this game a long time, is basically how come I haven't. There were like a period of years I didn't really push anything. In fact, I just got off the phone with a friend of mine, and he was asking some stuff. I ain't gonna get into it. Because he knew me back in the day when I was pushing hard, but he also knew me through the period where I really wasn't dealing with anything relationship minded. Wasn't even pushing my books hard or anything. And we talked about why I got into it. Now, one of the reasons I got out of it is that I would sit on these relationship panels, and the purpose of the panels would be to find solutions, especially with black relationships. Find solutions. We got to talk about solutions. Even some detractors, particularly women, would try to say, well, we need solutions. And I stopped sitting on these panels and stopped wanting to deal with it because people didn't really want solutions. Particularly women. They didn't want solutions. They just want men to behave the way they wanted them to behave. And ironically, men were the same way, but maybe a little bit more to some actual solutions. But it was still the same thing, really, with both sides. So, with the thinking black man, I'm offering a solution now. The thinking black man has to tell women my way or the highway. That's the solution. Because see, here's the thing. What is a man in general asked to do for a woman? We ask to provide for a woman. We ask to protect a woman. We are asked to lead a woman. We are asked to make man passionate love to the woman. Basically, the house of the man. All right. You asking all of this from us. All right. Well, then, if you want this from me, then you have to deal with me on my terms. See, if you want to be Miss Independent, I can't provide for you. You make shoot. I can't. That's making my job hard. If you act like you don't need my money, so, and you want me to, you acting like, oh, I can handle everything, you making my job harder too, to protect you, because you acting like you want to protect yourself, and then I'm trying to lead you, and you acting like, well, you can't tell me what to do. And then, you're talking about, yeah, gotta make man passion love to you, but then you don't want to do anything to seduce me. So my thing is, with the thinking black man and dealing with women, it has to be, hey, if you want this brother, this thinking black man, to be in your life, then your ass is falling in line. No ifs, ands, and buts. And there's really no room for negotiation. And the reason why I say that is, what do you bringing to the table? That, I mean, think about something. What's this woman bringing to the table? Because understand one thing, even though the numbers are very exaggerated, no matter what, there's always going to be more women in the world than men. So first of all, well, let me back up. One thing, I don't really talk about my professional background, and that's because there was a lot of confidentiality statements I had to sign. But I'll just say this. I've been involved as a professional negotiator, and actually trained, on your tax dollar too. So one of the things you have to understand as when you're negotiating, you gotta have a strong position. You gotta have the options. If you're trying to negotiate a raise at a job, you can't be a lousy worker and go in and say you want like a $10 raise, or you want to go for this position. Shoot, you gotta have some. You gotta show that you're valuable to the company, and that if they don't give you what you want, you'll leave. Now, if you're a lousy worker and you like, well, if y'all don't get this, I'm gonna leave, they're gonna be like, bye. And it's the same thing the thinking black man has to deal with women. The thinking black man has to know that he's the prize. What's this woman bringing to his life? He doesn't need her money. He doesn't need her protection. He doesn't need her leadership. And quite frankly, since there are literally billions of women in the world who, for really a thinking black man to choose from, you can't even say, oh, you can't get another woman. So it's like, wait a minute. What the fuck are you compromising on? Think about it. And I'm just being dead serious with that. I'm being dead serious. A thinking black man. See, one thing, and of course the primary audience for this video will be the African American community. An African American man, he's not limited to African American women. Shoot, they got women in the Caribbean. Shoot, they got women in South America. Black women. They got black women in Africa. And see, a funny thing, a lot of black women in Africa, shoot, what's called an educated lame in America is an ideal man in many parts of Africa. They want you to have that degree, piece of paper. And if you don't have that, at least be intelligent and have some ambition to do something. They want you, shoot. Some parts of the Caribbean, shoot. If you got about 4 or 5 jobs and able to provide, they looking at you differently. It's a different vibe. So basically, a thinking black man can go anywhere in the world. So you know, he doesn't have to deal with any particular woman. He can deal with whoever he wants. So he can deal with any woman on his terms. And it's not really deeper than that. He can deal with it on the terms. Because it's like, if this one, just like Mr. Goodbar can say, if this woman is not doing what I want, I'm going to kick her to the curb. I'm going to get the next one. I mean, and I'm going to tell you the truth, Mr. Goodbar is to be cold-blooded about it. Be like, well, you know what? Her dress ain't hanging right. I'm going to take this next one. You know what? I don't like her hairstyle. I'm going to take this next one. I mean, that's what select men do. The thinking black man, yeah, in the African American community, the thinking black man is not at the top of the heap, even though they should be. I'm just going to say it straight up, they should be, because in the cultures that are dominant on this planet, the thinking man is at the top of the heap. I'm going to say that again. In the cultures that are dominant on this planet, the thinking man is at the top of the heap. You don't hear about Jewish culture, talking about women going for thugs. They ain't saying that. The Indian diaspora is an underrated power in the world. I'm saying diaspora. A small percentage of people they taking over whole communities and stuff, businesses and all of that. Oh, dude, shoot, a man gotta be intelligent. They ain't going for some just like Joe Blow. Nah. Shoot, plenty of African cultures, Nigerian culture. Shoot, Joe. Shit, I always joke with all my Nigerian friends. I say, shoot, y'all deal with some internal issues over there and stuff. Y'all take over like Africa and like a third of the world. But that's because education, having that degree, or just that self-education, is promoted in many parts of the world. So man, African American man, shoot, he has to realize, shoot, my way or the highway. My way or the highway, and that's how you deal with the women. And that's on a basic level. Now, in the context of building a culture, and this is what I would advise for the thinking black man, only deal with the women who are willing to be an active participant in the building of that culture. Don't get some woman who, just because they see you got some, she got some money, she see you got some money and some sense, and she realize, oh, hey, let me get a part of that, but she don't really want to work to help build a culture. Don't mess with her. If we talking about building a culture, and really even at a lower level, like any thinking black man needs, even if he just wants casual sex, needs to be very careful who he messing with. Because say he he's trying to build a business, he's trying to help build this community, and he deal with some woman who ain't down for any of that. Now he might think, oh yeah, I'm just going to have the sex, she got a fat ass and all of that. I'm just going to hit it a few times. I'm like, nah. Because, like I always say, a man make love to a woman's body, but a woman make love to a man's mind. And I've seen plenty of very intelligent, progressive brothers. They mess with that wrong woman. And I'm going to say woman, not just a black woman, but woman, period. Because I've seen some cats get caught up with a white woman and they get in trouble. They mess with that wrong woman, all of a sudden, all their shit's derailed. I've lost count of how many dudes I've seen had plans, had big dreams. They just mess with just that wrong woman. So, even casually, a man has to be careful where he sticks his dick. A thinking black man, even just casually, if she that fine, and you just got to get with her, your best option is have her be as quiet as possible. Because if you're around her and she on some like low level, low key ghetto ass, or she against the culture, shoot, She'll just do little subtle shit to try to derail you. You might not even know it. You talked about like one day you might want to network with the fellas. You want to network with some other thinking black men. Y'all talking about getting together and maybe purchasing like a large property someplace, maybe putting some commercial properties there, some stores or whatever, or working on some anything, putting a credit union together or something. And shoot, if that woman ain't on the same level, shit, she gonna sabotage it. Be talking about, well, I need you tonight, and something like that, and that's how they do it. They ain't gonna come straight up and just say they ain't down for the idea, but they'll try to pull at you. And then and it's even especially if the thinking black man needs to think about the woman. If he wants a family, he especially gotta think about that. Is she gonna serve the culture or is she gonna have her own agenda? Because I've seen plenty of men. They had a certain agenda, but the woman didn't have that same agenda, and the woman she spent all her energy trying to derail it. And that's why I say your way or the highway. You gotta look at the woman. It's like, look, this is what you want to build. Because if you're thinking as a thinking black man, like, okay, for the family piece, thinking black man, you want to raise thinking children, male and female children. You want education to be a priority. And, fortunately, there are some families who think in those terms. There's a few out there, there really is. But if, if that's where you want to go, but the woman, she wants to do something else, boom. Your ass is in trouble. Your ass is in trouble. Then it's like you're going to have a split. And then all of a sudden, could lead to you get married, go through some stuff, and then maybe lead to divorce and everything. And then instead of you building and stuff, you spending time trying to keep up with child support payments or something like that. And so it's just like, no, it has to be a build. And another thing with the woman, not even beyond what she's supporting, but as if you're trying to build a family, the mother is the first teacher. Because really, if we follow the more natural blueprint of living in this culture, the father's influence, he has an influence in a child's life from birth, but from the age of 1 through 7, it's primarily the mother. It's probably actually really 1 through 7 is primarily the mother. Ages 8 through 14, it becomes, both parents. And then 14, that's actually when the father should take over, like, period. Even in cases where a couple might get divorced, the father, any boy children especially should live with the father from the ages of 14 on up, especially. Now, kind of hard to do. Some of that might be hard to do in this society, but I'm just hitting y'all with some deeper stuff. But that'll be a whole separate video. I might have to join my private site for that. But the thing is, that mother, she plays a role. She plays a role in shaping that next generation for the community, that next generation of thinking black men and also thinking black women. So you have to think, in dealing with the woman, she not only has to be in submission to your plan, but also she has to be in submission to the long-term plan. And I know that word submission is a dirty word, but look, first of all, everybody out here in submission to something, whether you realize it or not. Now, if as a man, first of all, women shouldn't have a problem with your ass being a leader and being in submission to you if you up here doing what you supposed to be doing. And some women, a lot of women are down for that. So, but that's definitely what you want. And also, too, let me just hit on one final point. Since we're talking about primarily African American men, but I'm seeing an increasing amount of brothers from overseas and stuff, particularly Britain, they having these same issues. And I had an observation about that, but trust me, that'll make this video a bit longer. That's a separate video. But one of the things, as men, when we want to take mates, we do have to. Well, I talked about this earlier, but we do have to realize we have a big world out there, you know. And one of the things is, because there's a big world, because we have so many options, we can't focus on the knuckleheads. We can't focus on the negative women who really all they can do is try to distract you. Like prior to making this video, I had to block presumably a young lady who was on some bullshit. You know, at first I was engaging her because, hey, a bad part about me, I like fucking with somebody's head. I ain't gonna lie, I really do. But then I thought about it, right? I said, you know what? I'm trying to do some big shit here. I don't have time for some like small person who has nothing else going in their life to like take up my time. And that's gonna be it from now on. If I don't like a comment or something, or I see some smart mouth shit, I'm just gonna block it right away. I'm not even gonna engage it. Even though by nature I'm very confrontational, like male or female. That's really by nature, almost to a pathological degree. That's one thing. My younger self would have been like, oh, I'm gonna tear this person up till they have a nervous breakdown. Nah, I don't have time for that. Because as builders, we gotta stay, as building a culture, we have to stay on point. So dealing with women is basically this. And this is what Rom does personally. Any woman in my circle, whether I'm having sex with her or not, got to be somebody who adds to my life. And I mean that every single woman in my circle adds to my life. I don't have to have sex with them for that to happen. Quite frankly, some of the ones I'm not having sex with actually add more to my life than the ones I'm having sex with. Cause yeah, that's a whole other video. So this woman has to add something. She has to contribute to my growth. She has to be able to tell me something. Like I've had some women. Like I have a online university. A beautiful sister hit me to that. A very beautiful sister hit me to the website I use for my private site. So they were serving a purpose. You know, every woman in a thinking black man's life has to serve a purpose. If she does not serve a purpose, if she does not enhance your life in one way or the other, don't deal with her at all. Now, if you like catch some dumb comments online or something, you know, if you can block them, otherwise ignore them. You know, and you know they'll come with some dumbass shaming tactics, but whatever, ignore them. That's the province of the weak, and insecure, and immature. So, you know, dealing with women as thinking black men, it's like we gotta take a stand. You know, we have to insist on a standard of behavior that women must bring when they deal with us. You know, and they have to be willing to support what we're building. Now, if they support what we're building, and this is anyone, like I said, the woman don't have to be somebody you having sex with. She can just be in your circle. If they willing to support it, hey, you know what? We got them. We got them, sisters. We got you. Support what we trying to build. We got you. If you not supporting it, you best stay out our way. Because if we gotta respond, it's gonna be vicious. But so it's just easier. You know what? You ain't feeling us. You know you want the thug dude, or you want the dude with swag, or you don't want that dude that got some intelligence. You know what? You're free to do that, and we're free not to deal with you. But if you're the type who appreciate what the thinking black man is bringing to the table, shoot, we embrace you. And so all thinking black men listening to this video, you know, 2 words: zero tolerance. She either enhances your life or she don't. So anyway, that's it. Cause I can shoot. I'm feeling a rant coming on, but that's how we got to deal with women on our terms. Period. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.